Hello everybody, this is Alyssa from Make Arts and Crafts, and today we are doing a WIP and chat. So WIP stands for work in progress, and chat, we're going to sit here and chat, talk a little bit about the week, what's been going on, all of that fun stuff. And today's WIP and chat, we're going to be working on the canvas Stacked Pumpkins with Sunflower. And this is by the artist Angela Anderson, and I'm going to throw a photo up if I remember to do it when I'm editing. It's been a while since I've done that, but I'm going to try to remember to throw a photo up in the corner for you. Well, it'll be over in that corner for you guys so you can see what this image looks like. It's a super, super cute image, and I'm actually going to be, I'm doing a lot of extra bling. I'm doing the bling kit from DP with the enhancement set from DP with Sparklers with this canvas here. So I'm going to have a lot of enhancements that I'm adding to it to really bling this kit out, and I'm excited for that. This is a round roll kit. It is a 50.7 by 69 centimeter kit, and it's from Diamond Art Club, and I'm super excited to do it. I think, yeah, it has 57 colors. It only came with 1 AB and 2 fairy dust, and to me, that's like not enough special drills, so I absolutely had to go with the enhancement set for it, which added, I think, 11 additional special drills to it. So I'm super excited to kind of get going on it, and we're going to make some progress. So the tools that I'm working with today, I am using a Peach Bellini Mary Mud. I was using a fall flavor yesterday, and then I swapped because I'm going in order, and today it's a Peach Bellini. I need to swap out my WIP wax. I'm being lazy and haven't gone and grabbed the new flavor of WIP wax, but I'm using the Fresh Linen WIP wax. That's the WIP wax I'm using. And then my pens, I have this beautiful blue pen from Enabler's Outpost, which has some nice blue chunky glitter in it. And it's a lovely, lovely blue pen. And then I am using this gorgeous mini pen from Butterfly Effectwares that I am totally, it's a little bit of a fatter one. My thumb has been giving me some issues with this joint right here, has been acting up lately and giving me some issues, which some issues are an occupational hazard for me as a physical therapist, just because of all the hands-on work that I do with patients. And then of course add in the diamond painting if I'm pressing too hard and being too much of a hard presser, which I had been doing too much hard pressing for a while. I think I spent too much time doing squares back to back and hard pressing with the squares. So I'm trying to do like a little bit of a looser grip. So I may switch over to the fatter pen because that it's a little bit of a looser grip with the pen. And this is the joint that's bothering me, and then I can hold it a little bit looser. So I may have to switch over to the other one. But that's my tools. Oh yes, and then the same old, same tray that I always use, Bella Art Data Cool 3.1 mini tray. That's my go-to. So we're gonna kind of get started on this. This section right here is very much a color blocky section, which I love my color blocking. So that's something that I do a lot of is color blocking. I think that's just light from my overhead light in my room here. That's what that light is. So I'm sorry, you're gonna get a little bit of a glare there, and that's just from where my canvas is positioned on we're gonna put my paperweight right there. That's just from the position of my canvas on my easel. So, you know, it is what it is. So we're gonna get started. So in case you're not familiar with what color blocking is, for anybody that's newer, color blocking is where we have large areas of one color where you don't have to change out the color that's in your tray. And that's basically all of these twos, which is this whole section here over to there. That whole section there is color blocking. And confetti is when you have to do a lot of color changes in an area, and that'll be this whole section right up here. That's a lot of confetti. So that's going to be confetti. The background is going to be color blocking. The pumpkins themselves are more of what I consider like a line blocking, which is basically where you're not really doing this confetti per se, but it's not like big swaths of the same color. It's more of you have the one color, but it's in like streaks or in like lines. So I consider that more of like a line blocking than anything else, because it's not confetti per se, but it's not big streaks of color blocking like this. But that's kind of where we're at. So I hope everybody has had a wonderful week. I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend and had some fun, did something enjoyable. I basically was a homebody. Well, I was, for the most part, I tried to be a homebody and just chill at home, do some diamond painting, kind of chillax. Finished out my August kits and then got started on my September finishes, or my September kits. I planned out 4 kits to work on for the month of September, and I've already finished 2 of them this week. And this is me starting into my 3rd kit that I planned for like fall or spooky themed kits for the month of September. This is my 3rd one. So I'm ahead of the curve because I'm literally already started the 3rd one. But I want to finish the 4 of these kits that I'm working on. I know I'm starting, normally I start off with like how my week has been, and then I go into diamond painting talk. But apparently this week I'm starting with diamond painting talk, and then I'll go into stuff. But so I want to finish the 4 kits that are on my agenda to finish, and then I'll roll into working on the Storm God, because I want to make progress on that canvas this month. That's gonna be one of my goals, is to work on that. So that's kind of my agenda and my plan for everything. So yeah, that's where we're at. But anyways, so I'm making good progress on finishes so far this month, which is good because October is going to be a slower month because I'm going to have a lot of stuff to do in October in preparation for moving, because that's going to be the month that I have to move. But anywho, so what did I do at work this week? So yeah, Saturday and Sunday were just kind of chill days, and then Monday was also, pretty chill because there was the holiday. So I just kind of hung out at home, did some diamond painting for that. Stayed up later than I should have, diamond painted, watched dramas, read, the typical. That's kind of what I did pretty much most of the weekend. I did have to go down the hill, go down to Palm Springs to the dealership, the car dealership down to one of the dealership down in Palm Springs on Tuesday morning. So I had to get up nice and early to do that Tuesday, because I had a recall on my car that I had an appointment to get fixed. So I had to drive down there on Tuesday for that. So that was bright and early because my appointment was set for 7:30. I think I ended up getting there a little bit late. I think I got there at like 7:40, which was completely fine considering the fact that the mechanics don't even get there until 8. And I'm like, well, what's the point of me getting there at 7:30 if your mechanics don't even start working until 8 o'clock? Like, why have an appointment for 7:30 then? That makes absolutely no sense. Like, come on. Like, don't take my car from me and have me be there at 7:30 if you're not even going to start doing anything on it until 8 o'clock. Just tell me to be there at 8 o'clock and I'll be there at 8 o'clock. Especially when I'm driving an hour and 15 minutes to get there, because that's the closest Chevy dealership to where I live, which is annoying that I have to drive that far to get to a Chevy dealership. So I took my car, and I was like, I'm just going to sit here and wait because it's not something that should take literally all day to do, because it was basically they had to change like the hood striker mechanism on my car. So essentially like the hood latch for my car, that's what they had to replace. So I'm like, that's not something that should take all day. It's something that should be a quick fix for it. So I was like, I will go ahead and kind of like, get myself going on everything for, heading down the hill, do that. And I'm just gonna sit here, and I brought a couple I brought like a paint gem set, and then I brought some Diamond Delight stickers to work on as well. I ended up only getting a couple stickers done, a couple of the Diamond Delight stickers done before they ended up calling my name, or before they ended up calling me saying my car was ready, because I kind of chilled and like spent some time kind of, in the endless cycle that is, once you get sucked into one video, then you end up watching multiple videos kind of a thing. I did that and like spooled and spiraled for a little bit on like reels, on like Instagram reels and Facebook reels and YouTube shorts. So I had done that for a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, I need to get myself together, sit here, because I'm like, I'm just gonna sit at the dealership and do that rather than going somewhere else. Because if you leave, they'll be like, oh, that person's not here, we can take our time on their vehicle. But if you're sitting in the waiting room, are in the lobby waiting for them, they usually are going to work on your car faster to get you out of there because you're sitting and waiting. So they started working on my car at 8 o'clock. And then I think at like 10, they're like, oh, it's going to take a few hours to fix. I think at like 10:30 or so is when I got the call saying that my car was ready. So I was like, okay, perfect. I'll walk back across to the service center, which was basically across the parking lot on the other. Well, basically it was just I had to cross like a little from one lobby to the other lobby because their main waiting lobby was in the main part of the building as opposed to the service center building. So I crossed over to pick it up, and while I was at it, I made the appointment to get my engine coolant reservoir and my new tires. Engine coolant reservoir fixed and then get new tires. And then I was like, I'll go ahead and get a transmission flush because I've now rolled my car over to like 100,000 miles and it's an 11-year-old car. So I'm like, let's go ahead and get that while we're at it in preparation for doing like a cross-country road trip. We'll just kind of do those things. Kind of like the big ticket things that are on the tracker for the 100,000 mile things for like the manufacturer's recommended 100,000 mile like maintenance items on your car. I'm like, I'll go ahead and do those things. So paid for the parts, and then headed back home. I was like, I could have stopped and gotten food because usually they have the good restaurants down the hill, but I just wasn't feeling it. I was like, I just want to go home and go be a lazy bum for the rest of the day. So thankfully I was home by like 12:30 or so is when I got home, which I was like happy because it didn't take my entire day. It only took like half the day as opposed to taking the entire day. And that includes like the hour 15 each direction that I had to drive to get there for the appointment or to drop my car off and do this stuff. So I was pleased that it was not an entire day evolution. That was my main thing. It did not take literally the entire day to get my stuff, the recall done on my car. So that was a happy thing. And then from there, that was Tuesday. I had work on Wednesday, which wasn't a bad day. It was relatively low-key day on Wednesday for work. My replacement at the hospital has arrived, so it was good because I was doing some check-in stuff with him, getting him all settled and good to go. And then after that, so that was basically Wednesday. And then we've got a lot of trainings that we have to do right now because it's basically getting close to the end of the fiscal year. So we have all of our end of year trainings that have to get done to get like the check in the box, boom, done with your trainings before we roll into the new fiscal year. And then all of those trainings that we finished are going to then be due again because it'll be a new fiscal year and we have to do those same trainings every year. It's so annoying. But that's the military for you. We've got a handful of trainings still to go. But the annoying thing is when you do a training, you can't just, they can't just pull from, well, they technically can pull from the system that we do our trainings in, which is Joint Knowledge Online, which is what multiple branches of the military will use the same system. Technically, they could pull the training report from that system to say, okay, yes, you've completed these assigned trainings and here's the training report. Because that's how that system works. You can pull the report from the system and it shows, boom, trainings are done. But no, we have to make things more complicated. You can't just pull straight from the system. We have to basically take a PDF of our training up from that system, upload it into an additional system, and that's what they take the log from, is that additional training system saying, oh yeah, you're done with your training because you've uploaded your certificate into this third party additional training system. And I'm like, why can't you just pull the report from the original system that shows whether our training was done? Why do we have to go through this extra step to log it into this additional system to show that we've done our training? Like, it makes no sense that we have to do this. And I've never understood the point of uploading it into an additional system, because it's only when I'm at the hospital that I have to do that. it, like if I'm on the ship or if I'm out like operational, any other thing, I still have to do some of the same trainings. I don't have to do as many unless when I'm operational, because you know a lot of the trainings that we do are medicine specific trainings. So but I don't have to upload them to that additional system, which I'm like, thankfully. So I'm like, why did we have to make things so much more complicated when we're in the medical community? Why can't we just use the system that already exists and just pull the data from that system? Why do we have to sit here and upload it into an additional system, which is literally me just sitting there and uploading the certificate into an additional system? That's all I have to do. But why do I have to do that when we have a system in place that literally you can pull a report that shows that I did the training from the original system? Like, why? Why do I have to do this extra step? This makes no sense, because there's no value add into doing this extra step. Like, literally no value add. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, I really do not understand the purpose of it. But that's what we do. So that's how we have to do it, because that's what we do. I just don't get it. It's so frustrating and so annoying. But anyways, that's something that I'm like, but then of course, when I go to upload my certificate into this additional system, you go to upload your certificate, you click on the training that's you're delinquent in, or the training that's due. You click on the name of the training and you go to upload your certificate to show, so that you can submit the certificate to your training supervisor or your training person that verifies that you completed the training. Go to submit it, and it's like you upload, you go to the upload button, and then once it uploads, and you select the file you want to upload, and then once it uploads, you can submit it. Well, I select the file I want to upload, click the upload button, and I get the spinny wheel of nope. And it'll sit there and it'll spin the spinny wheel of nope for legit over an hour. But I usually, my patience, my tolerance for waiting time when it comes to stuff like that is like 3 to 4 minutes. So after 3 to 4 minutes, it's just going to sit in that endless cycle of spinny, spinny, spinny. So I usually have to then refresh the page, try again. Spinny, 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 spinny. Refresh the page, try again. Spinny, spinny, spinny. So on Wednesday afternoon, I was working on trainings because I have a number of them to do, and some of them take a really long time to complete. So a number of trainings to do. And as I'm doing the trainings, I have another screen open where I'm working on trying to upload these certificates, because I had like 4 or 5 certificates that I needed to upload of trainings that I had completed. Well, I sat there in an entire 3-hour span of time that I was working on these trainings. You want to know how many certificates I got uploaded out of my 4 or 5 that I had? I legit got 1 certificate to upload in a 3-hour span of time. Like, that's how ridiculous this system has been lately to try to actually upload anything. I'm like, I don't have the time to sit here and waste constantly trying to upload a certificate into a system that is just, it was ridiculous. I'm like, this is a waste of time. Like, I legit don't have the time to do this, because I've got more important things to do than sit here and fight with uploading a certificate when you can literally pull a report that shows, oh, look, you've got this certificate completed. Like, come on already, people. Let's get past this whole mentality of having to double work everything. Like, come on. It's so annoying. But anyways, that was my boringness of Wednesday. Thursday ended up being a low-key day. I had a number of a couple different no-shows. I think I had like 2 or 3 no-shows back to back. Then I had a cancellation, so it ended up being a little bit of a low-key day for me. So that was nice. Did some more check-in stuff for my replacement, continuing to get him kind of like settled in and good to go. So in like those down times when people didn't show up, that's when I would work on like trying to get my replacement, help get him settled in with some of his check-in process stuff. Worked on some of that stuff, and then in addition to that, I was working on, so doing all of that, and then working into, I just remembered something that I have to do for work. Darn it, I keep forgetting that. I have to work on my end of tour award. I'm like, oh, darn it. I completely forgot about that. That was, part of that's on me. I'm like, oh my goodness, I knew I was forgetting something. But yes, I have to work on my end of tour award. I'm like, wow, that's something I was gonna do this week and I completely forgot. I had to get a sip of water. By the way, I just got these brand new water bottles and I am totally in love with this one. I have to turn on the light and show you guys. That was something exciting that came this week. I got 4 new water bottles. It's from the brand Corksicle. I couldn't find any, like somebody was showing, I think Juggies is what, a couple of my friends had gotten a couple water bottles from Juggy, but I couldn't find any patterns that I liked. So I was like looking and an ad popped up because I had looked at Juggy, an ad popped up for me for Corksicle. So I looked at Corksicle and like I got 2 of these 24 ouncers and it like legit keeps my water super cold. I love it. And it's got a nice secure lid. You can see it's not coming off super easily. So it's got a nice secure lid and the straw. I got 2 24 ouncers. I got a 30 ouncer, which has a holder handle, and then I got a 40 ouncer which has the 3 small ones have a straw and a lid like this. The 40 ouncer also has the handle, but then it has one of those lids that you can use as like a sip lid or a straw, or you can stick the straw down through the opening of the sip portion too. But it's got one that like slides forward and back in addition as on the lid, so it's a different style of lid. So then you could close it and not have to use a straw and just use it like a sipper. But it's still like, but that's the same color as this one. But I got 2 that are kind of a similar gradient, like 2 of this style, another one that's kind of almost the same as this, but slightly different, that's still pastels. And then the other one is like white with like a floral pattern up at the top. I love all of them. And I'm like, this is fantastic because if I have a pretty water bottle, I'm more likely to actually drink my water. It's like something I've found out about myself. If I have like a fun water bottle, I'll sit there and I'll drink more water than if I have a boring water bottle. So I'm like, ooh, yay. So I've been drinking more water over these last few days since I got my water bottles in. So yes, I'm excited about those. So random sidebar. So anywho, what was I saying before I did try? Oh yeah, the stupid training system. So anyways, I spent Thursday or Wednesday fighting with that. Thursday checking in my patient, or helping check in my replacement. And then today, Friday, because of course you guys know by now I film these on Friday nights and then they go up Saturday morning. So Friday, this morning, oh my goodness, today was just a hectic day. So I got home from work on Thursday and I was super tired because it's been a long day and, you know, my sleep is still not the greatest. So I was super tired on Thursday and I laid down and I was like, I'm just going to chill because I like to like lay down on the bed and just kind of chill and decompress at the end of the day. When I get home, I'll decompress for like 30-40 minutes before I do anything else. And that's just to kind of like, because I'm so introverted and I need that like decompress, chill, lay there and kind of like let my brain recuperate before I can do anything, even like diamond paint. I just need that decompressed time to be able to kind of reset myself, and then I can kind of get back into the swing of things as far as like diamond painting or anything else. But that's kind of like get my brain on properly kind of a moment. Well, I was tired enough on Thursday night that I ended up falling asleep. Thankfully I was in my bed, so if I fell asleep, it's not like I'm going to be sleeping in an awkward position. But I ended up falling asleep around like 5:30ish or so. And then next thing I know, I wake up and it's like 9 p.m. And I've still been averaging like 4.5, maybe 5 hours of sleep a night. So the fact that I fell asleep at 5:30 and I woke up at 9, that was like 3.5 hours of sleep. So that was a lot of sleep. And that was almost the same amount of sleep I've been getting in a night. So my body was like, all right, we're good. We just got a lot of the same amount of sleep we've been getting, because I've started to adapt to the lack of sleep, basically. So I wake up at 9 p.m. and I'm like legit wide awake. And my body's like, all right, what are we going to do? Because we're ready to go do things now. We're ready for the day to start. And I'm like, but it's 9 p.m. We need to be going back to bed because it's 9 p.m. And my brain's like, nope, we're ready to start the day. Let's do things because we're wide awake now. We rested. We're ready to go. We're ready to do. So I was like, okay, well, it's 9 p.m. Let's go ahead and record our video for Friday. Got that recorded and put up. And then first I had to eat something because I hadn't even eaten dinner, so I was starving. So I ate something, even though I hate eating that late at night, but I was famished. So I ate a little bit, and then and part of it is I had had a bit of a migraine throughout the day. So I needed that, like, sleep to recover from the migraine. And then, I'm swapping colors, so I'm thinking I can't do two tasks at once. So, what color am I working on now? I need the equal sign. All right, here we go. We're on to, as I go smash, sorry, as I smack it. Now we're gonna do this color right here. That's our shade we're moving into. So I got a big chunk done, and that literally took me like no time. I mean, we've been recording the video for what, 26 minutes, and I got the majority of that done in that 26 minutes, minus what, maybe the first 5 rows. So my rounds and my color blocking goes super fast, which I'm fine with. We're gonna start down here because it's easier to reach than up here, and then we'll kind of like do the sections as we go. So wide awake, and then I was like, okay, did some stuff. Then I diamond painted because I wanted to finish the diamond painting that I was working on. So I finished the diamond painting that I was working on, which was kit number 2 for the Drills and Chills kind of fall season, which was a fall themed diamond painting. It wasn't like a spooky one, it was a fall one. So I finished the second kit of the 4 that I had picked out. If you want to know what kit it is, go watch my month in review, because I showcase those at the end of the month in review. I'll kind of show what paintings every time I do a month in review, I'll kind of show, give you guys an idea of what I plan on working on for the next month, so that you can see there. And then I worked on that, finished that, and then I was like, well, even though I'm not really tired, I'll go lay in bed and like throw something on to watch, or I'll read because I have a couple episodes left to finish on a drama, and usually I will watch like an episode or 2 and fall asleep mid-episode. That's kind of normally what happens. So just because it's like my brain needs that something to watch to help me fall asleep, even though for like proper sleep hygiene I shouldn't be watching something when I go lay down, but like the way my brain works, I need that to fall asleep as I'm working on falling asleep. Because if I just lay there, my brain doesn't have anything to distract it and help it to kind of like focus and start to shut down. So my brain will go into like hyperactive, must think of everything mode, and I won't be able to sleep. So if I have something to distract it, it's not jumping all over the place, and I can actually then like my brain will start to slowly shut off, and then I can actually sleep. And that's just how my brain kind of operates with that. So I ended up laying there. I finished the drama that I was watching at like 2:30, and I was still awake. I was starting to get a little bit sleepy at that point, but I was still pretty much awake. So I was like, okay, I don't want to start another drama or anything like that right now, because it's too late to do that. But I'm still wide awake. So then I just kind of pulled up like a manga, a random manga. I can't even remember. I don't know. I don't even pay attention to the names. I just pull them up and read. So I pulled up a manga and I started reading one of those. Because then I was like, okay, but as I read, if I fall asleep, that'll be fine. So I did that and read until I fell asleep, which was probably around like 3 or something like that this morning. But I was like, seriously, can't believe it's taking this long for me to fall asleep. But I can, because I get why it took me that long to fall asleep, because I literally slept like most of my sleep before I went to bed in the evening. So the fact that I was wide awake at 9 p.m., not surprising, considering I got like 3.5 hours of sleep before 9 p.m. So my brain and my body was already like, okay, you're good. But then because I had stayed up late, essentially, and then I tried to go to sleep tried going to sleep and finally fell asleep at 3 or so in the morning. I had set my alarm for 5:15. My normal wake up time is 5:30. But I set my alarm for 5:15 because I needed to get up and leave, get up, get ready. And it takes me a little bit to get my carcass out of bed. So that gives me a chance to kind of like slowly work my way up where I'm awake, but not actually having to like be coherent and do anything yet or actually function yet, but I'm actually awake and working my way up. So I was like, okay, 5:15 gives me that time I need because I need to leave by like 6:30, 6:35 or so is when I need to leave by to make sure that I can get over, because I had a dental appointment at 7. And I needed to make sure I could get through the gate in time because they're doing maintenance on the gates, on the other gates. So they're funneling traffic in the mornings through the main gate, primarily. They've got a lot of that traffic going through the main gate, which then slows things down because now you got a lot of people going through, more people going through one gate than usual. So that has been slowing things down a little bit. And oh my goodness, it was just so, so I was like, I need to kind of get a little bit of an earlier head start just in case there's a backup on the gate. So that was something that I was like, I need to kind of do that a little bit for traffic, because I need to make sure I can get to dental in time for my 7 o'clock appointment because I had a cleaning this morning. Well, I started like, I woke up at 6:20. I think I ended up waking up at like 6:24 or something like that. 6:24 or 6:26 is when I actually woke up, and I'm like, oh crap, I was supposed to be leaving in like 5 minutes. So I threw on my uniform. I basically didn't even have time to take a shower, and a shower is normally what wakes me up. That's what makes me human in the morning, is having my shower. But I'm like, I'm not even going to take the time to do like a quick get myself wet, because I can take like some of the fastest showers you could possibly imagine. I have no qualms taking a super speedy cold shower. I have done many of them over my life. I mean, I lived on a ship for 2 years. Like, I have absolutely no issues taking a fast, super speedy military cold shower. Like, I can do that. I've done it many times. It's not a big deal. Like, easy day. But I didn't even want to take the time to do that. I'm like, I just need to throw my uniform on and get my butt out the door. So did that, get to dental, and then my appointment was supposed to be at 7. I proceed to wait until 7:15 before I get called back for my cleaning. And I'm the first patient of the day, mind you. So finally get pulled back at 7:15 to do my cleaning. My teeth are still sore from it. So she was a little bit aggressive with her cleaning. Like, my gums are a little bit more tender than I usually ever am after a cleaning. Because she used like the water, like the like the thingy to blast plaque, and then went into the scraping, and it was just like significantly more aggressive than I'm used to from a dental hygienist. And it's not like she was a fresh grad or anything like that. She's been doing this for like 10 years, but it was just like, ooh, this is uncomfortable. So my teeth were just a little bit tender, and then she did like a quick like fluoride polish that then gave me this nasty taste in my mouth for the rest of the workday. Oh, nothing like walking around feeling like you've got this gritty aftertaste on your teeth. That was unpleasant. But did dental, got done at 7:42, and I had to fly back over to the hospital because we do colors, which is basically when the flag goes up, and to the national anthem, we do the flag goes up. And on Fridays we do essentially like a fancy Friday, so everybody wears khakis and they go out and stand out front in formation and we watch when we stand out there for colors. And then if the commanding officer has any announcements to make, he'll do it then. If people have earned any awards, they'll be passed out then. And then today we had 3 people got promoted today. So I wanted to be there for, and I know all 3 of them. So I wanted to be there for their promotion. So I had adjusted my schedule with my patient so I could actually be there for the promotion. But I was like, I needed to be able to run over to the hospital, change out of my working uniform and into my khakis, which is a fancier uniform, but still like it's more of like a day-to-day working or like fancy uniform. But I had to change into my khakis super quickly and then rush out to the front of the hospital so that way I could get in formation before 7:55. So I like got there just in the nick of time. Because you have to be all lined up and in formation by 7:55, which is the 5-minute bell or the 5-minute warning to colors. But I like just got there just in time. It was like so close. But I was just like, oh my goodness, if she had pulled me back in a timely manner, I would not have had to rush like that. I was like, oh, good grief. You could have totally pulled me back on time and this would not have been nearly as rushed, and I would not have been like so for the rest of the day. So did that. They had the promotion ceremony, and then afterwards we went down and had like refreshments, like cake and cookies and all that fun stuff for like after their promotion. And then from there I changed out of my khakis, put my working uniform back on, which is the camouflage uniform, and went back over to the clinic that I work on Fridays. Saw my morning patients over there, did some more check-in stuff with my replacement because he came over. So I did some check-in stuff with him and then proceeded to, let's see, what did I do after that? Oh yes, and then it was, by that time it's like lunchtime, but I was still doing some like check-in stuff and I didn't have time to grab a lunch. And we don't have any, and I would have to drive somewhere to get food when I'm over at the clinic. If I was at the hospital, I could have gone to either the ship store and gotten like a frozen meal, or I could have gone down to the actual galley and gotten like real food at the galley. But when you're at the clinic, you have to actually drive somewhere to get food. And I'm like, I just don't have the wherewithal to actually go anywhere for food right now. So I was like, that's not happening. So yeah, I basically didn't have lunch, but I only had a couple patients in the afternoon, which was nice. So I ended up leaving, like, I think I ended up getting out, like, leaving maybe half an hour early. I was just like, I am over this. I am done. I am exhausted. I have a migraine. I just want to go home and be done and over it. So that's what I did. I came home, left half an hour early, and I'm like, I am done for the day. We are going home. So it was just like, this is it. I am over it. So interesting thing. I probably have commented about this patient way back when, but we used to have this patient at the hospital, like, that we treated, who had been with us for a long time. We had treated him for hip pain and worked with him for his hips for a while, and then he had hip surgery. I had one hip done. We rehabbed that hip, got him looking pretty good from that one hip, and then he got his other hip done. And he's my age, so like mid to late 30s. So pretty young still, but in Marine Corps age, old, because that's how the Marine Corps is. So your mid to late 30s is old in the Marine Corps. But we had rehabbed him from the first hip surgery, and then he had the second hip done, rehabbed him from the second hip surgery, and then finally got him cleared and like kicked him out and sent him on his way, and he was looking good. Well, and we always give him a really hard time. So he's a gunnery sergeant. But he kind of didn't have the look, he didn't look like a normal gunnery sergeant because he was a little bit shorter and squatter. Not like your typical Marine look, but he was a character, an absolute character. He's one of those where he'd come in and we just had this like back and forth, like give and take back and forth, like where we just kind of like rib each other back and forth. And it was so much fun to just like, there's certain patients where you can just give them that ribbing and that back and forth to it. And one of the things that we would always do every time Gunny came in, well, he always had his appointments on Fridays. That was like his appointment day. So from like the moment he first started coming in way back, like 2.5, 3 years ago, when he first started coming in before he had his surgeries, we started playing Disney music for him. He'd come in on Friday and we'd play Disney music. And he despised the Disney music with a passion, like so despised it when we would play Disney music for him. And every time he would come in, if we were not playing Disney music, we would see Gunny coming in and checking in for his appointment, and the music would mysteriously transition over and become Disney music because Gunny was there. So without fail, there had to be Disney music playing when Gunny was there. It was so funny because everybody would do it. Whoever's music was playing that day would end up playing like whoever's music was playing, because whoever like got there first controlled the music for the clinic. So it didn't matter whose music it was. If Gunny was there, you played Disney music. Everybody was on board with this. It was hilarious. It was like the clinic rule. If Gunny's there, if that Gunny is there, you play Disney music because we have to torture Gunny. Because he was kind of like, not every patient would you do something like that with, but he's the one that you totally would. Like, when he had his second hip surgery, his boss literally banned him from coming into work for like a certain amount of time because he knew that if he would come into work, that Gunny would overwork it and overdo it and like set himself back. So even when the surgeon was like, yep, you're good to go back to work, to like, because he had more of an office job, he would still do like Marine Corps things, but like, you know, field work and things like that. But the primary day-to-day job, he was senior enough that he was working in an office. But he doesn't know how to sit still. So he would be up and moving, and, you know, he's a chatty Cathy. So it's like Gunny would be never sit at his desk. Gunny would be like touring the spaces, chatting with literally everybody. That's just how Gunny rolls. That was just his personality. So his boss basically was like, no, you are working from home for the first X amount of time, because if you come into work, you're not going to be resting your hip like you're supposed to be doing, and you're not going to heal like you're supposed to. So you're going to work from home. And oh my goodness, it drove Gunny crazy because he was such an extroverted person and such a social butterfly that it was just driving him bonkers. So he thrived on coming into physical therapy because he actually got to interact with people and talk to people in person. So it was good. So it was kind of like that good give and take back and forth. But anyways, I digress. So every time he'd come in, we would play Disney music. We finally discharged him, cut him loose, kicked him out. Well, I would come out of my office to go grab my last patient of the afternoon, and I'm like, I look, and over there doing exercises is Gunny, and I'm like, Gunny, what are you doing? Why are you here? I thought we kicked you out. Because it's like, no, normally we wouldn't say we kicked a patient out. But with Gunny, I totally can. And he was like, ma'am, you didn't hear? You didn't hear what happened to me? And I'm like, no, I didn't, Gunny. I didn't hear. He was like, I was in a well, so apparently he was in a rollover on like a tactical vehicle and ended up with some like rib fractures, like a back fracture, like spine fracture, like I had to have like an emergency surgery for his abdomen, all of this stuff because of a serious injury. And I'm like, Gunny, you're not supposed to come back. So yeah, and like he was unconscious for like 3 days. Like he really took a beating with the injury that he had. But needless to say, he's back in the clinic. So I had like literally just mentioned him, like the fact that we had this patient in the past that we used to play like Disney music to. I literally had just mentioned this to somebody else like yesterday, and then I walk out of my office today, and there's Gunny sitting there doing exercises, and I'm like, no way. And you wanna know what we were playing? Like it was kind of like this, kind of like I think it's like the Studio Disney whatever, but it was kind of like that, like I think it's like a new Disney release type thing where they have some of the traditional Disney songs released by like current artists. So it's kind of got that different feel to it. It's not like, oh, here's the standard Disney song. It's like a Disney song but played like today's top hits would be played, and it's kind of cool listening to them like this. So somebody changed their music, and all of a sudden we were playing Disney songs, and it was absolutely epically hilarious because the music changes to Disney music, and I look over there and at Gunny, and he just looks at me and gives me like the ultimate death glare, and I'm like, because I made some kind of comment, I'm like, I was just talking to somebody yesterday about how we would, every time you would come in, we would always end up somehow or other playing Disney music. And then like 5 minutes later, I think one of my corpsmen heard me say that, because like 5 minutes later, the Disney music starts. And oh my goodness, the look on Gunny's face, he was just like, ma'am, how dare you? Oh, it was absolutely hilarious. But anyways, he's doing good. In case anybody was wondering how he's doing, he's progressing well, doing good. But it was just like, oh, he's one of those characters, absolute character. He's one of those patients that you kind of like always remember, just because of the personality more so than anything else. And we had this like pretty good like back and forth that we would do, kind of like ribbing on each other, just because, you know, personality wise, he just such a character. But so that was today, and then now, you know, I'm sitting here diamond painting. So diamond painting wise, I'm doing pretty good. The only thing that I have purchased, I have not purchased any pens this week. I have not purchased any accessories this week. The only thing that and I don't plan to purchase any pens this weekend either. The only thing that I've purchased this week is the new releases from the 3 stickers, the 3 diamond paintings from Diamond Delights. Those I did purchase, but those I kind of don't really count as like you have to finish X amount to then purchase anything new, because those are like the tiny, like small snacky type things that I'll finish pretty quickly. It doesn't take me very long to finish kits like that, because they're the super tiny little things. And those, I was like, oh, I have to get them. Especially, I actually own the patterns for all 3 of them in already from the artist that made them, the designer that made them, because they're cross stitch patterns. I actually own the patterns already because I had purchased them because I loved them so much. I had purchased them to make as cross stitch conversions. So the fact that I don't have to go through the work of sourcing all the, well, I already have the drills and canvases, but I don't have to actually like hunt down. I don't have to go dig them out of my hoard. I can just start actually diamond painting it when it gets here, because Elvira has already done all of the work for me. She's turned it into a diamond painting for me. So I'm like, score, sold, I'll do this because that's perfect. But I'm super excited for them because they are the cutest and like, oh, the most fun little patterns ever. And I'm super excited to have them. So those were an absolute must, because if you have not checked out Diamond Delights, it's like DIY amend. So instead of being just a normal diamond, it's DIY amend. The rest of it's spelled like regular diamond. Delights, and it, like, her stuff is so cute. I think I have the link for it in my month in review, because I finished a bunch. If you want to see what some of the finishes looked like, I finished a bunch of stickers from her shop in my month in review video. I showcase some of them because I finished a bunch in August, and I've already finished a number of them already this month. I still have a handful of my Studio Ghibli ones to finish. I think I have like 3 or 4 still to finish that I'll finish in the next, probably this weekend I'll finish those. But they're just so cute. I just love how they look, and they're really nice quality. But that's the only purchase that I've made, so I'm really proud of myself. I have really significantly cut back on purchases over this last month. I was looking at, what really has been fantastic is I try to do a lot of my purchases, a lot of my extra purchases when it comes to like crafty stuff, I do on my Apple Card, because it gives you a nice breakdown of what you've spent. And the month of August, I basically cut my spending in half for the month of August, which is pretty awesome, and I'm pretty pleased with that, because that's pretty good. And I didn't even do as good, and I didn't do nearly as well in August as I could have. But the fact that just in basically deciding partway through August that I wanted to cut back and focus on the finish 4x1 for my diamond paintings, and sort of sticking to that, but not really. That has been, like, that has helped. Also, deciding to do a, you know, limiting myself to a maximum of 1 pen per week for purchases for pens. That's the maximum of what I can buy. Like this week, I'm not buying a pen because I haven't found anything that I want. So I'm like, I'm not going to buy a pen just for the sake of buying a pen, and I'm not going to roll it over to next week. I did have like a week that I ended up buying 2 because I think I had purchased, I purchased a Swampwood pen. Oh, I purchased a Peachy Keen pen on Friday, and then Seth dropped a Swampwood release on Friday night, and I was like, I had told myself if I can snag the exact pen that I want from the Swampwood release and it's not sold out, then I will buy it. But if the exact pen that I want is sold out, I'm not going to settle for a different Swampwood pen. And I ended up snagging the exact pen that I wanted, so I did buy 2 pens that week. But this week, I'm not going to buy a pen for the sake of buying a pen. I have not bought any pens this week, which is huge for me because there's like been weeks where I buy like 5 pens in a week. So I have not bought any pens this week, you guys. That's awesome. So I've cut back on pen purchases. So I'm pleased with myself for the cutting back. Really significantly reduced the spending. So that's pretty awesome. Overall, super happy with all of that. So yes, that's exciting for me. Yay. So I am very happy with all of that. And then, yeah, so now it's just a matter of continuing to cut back on spending in preparation for my cross-country move that I'll be doing in October. So, yes, we're getting there. But yeah, otherwise, I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys for today. Look at how much we got done. Oh my goodness, I got a whole bunch done. Almost finished this whole section of background. I love how quickly a round drill canvas with lots of color blocking goes. This section's going to take me a little longer because of the confetti. I did make the second section right here much bigger. Well, not a ton bigger, but I made it a little bit bigger because this has it's mostly color blocking, just a small section of the confetti. But look at that. Look how wonderful this section is. When I go into the confetti, I'm going to switch over to this pen for the confetti, and look at how beautiful that is. So I'm going to use this one when I come into here and do the confetti. That'll give my finger a little bit of a break. But look at how this blends with our 2 different, well, we've only got, 2 different shades that I'm into so far. So we're only on our first 2 colors. But look at this, it blends really well. And then we're going to roll into some different colors as we work our way down. We'll have some different colors, but I want to kind of get the background done first and then go into this, because that'll give me more of a cleaner area to work with before I start into Confetti Central. But yes, it looks fantastic. But that's all I have for you guys for today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy this weekend, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.